Hey you. Yeah, you, watching some guy ride a motorcycle with a camera shoved on his face. Welcome to my POV, literally and figuratively. You're about to see me barrel down this back road on a CFMoto 450 MT, but spoiler alert, I'm not here to bore you with engine specs you can read on Wikipedia. Instead, I want to show you why I picked this bike. How my over-caffeinated brain and this particular stretch of road teamed up to steer me toward the 450 MT. If you've ever opened 10 browser tabs comparing horsepower charts, watched a dozen YouTube reviews, then had to shove your credit card back into your wallet because you're paralyzed by choice. Congratulations, you and I are kindred spirits. Over the next 10 minutes, while you watch me pretend not to crash into a guardrail, you'll get a front row seat to the hidden mental gymnastics that guides us toward one motorcycle over another. The CFMoto 450 MT beneath me is a 449cc twin-cylinder machine putting out around 40 horsepower, tipping the scales at about 175 kilograms, wet, and price tag, drumroll, 7,800 euros. Before you comment, yes, that's European money, specifically Dutch money. I don't speak dollars, sorry, but look, if you paused here expecting a spec sheet Fiesta, you're in the wrong place. My goal is to get you thinking, what in the hell makes me gravitate toward this bike instead of, say, a more glamorous Japanese or Austrian alternative? So buckle up metaphorically, thankfully I'm already wearing a helmet, and let's talk psychology. First on the mental chopping block, anchoring bias. That's fancy talk for the first number you see screws with your perception of every number that follows. Picture this. I wandered into a KTM dealership last week expecting a casual browse. Instead, I freeze in front of a 390 Adventure with a sticker price of 8,800 euros. Bingo! That magic number gets lodged into my brain like gum under a shoe. Now, fast forward to today, a 450 MT priced at 7,800 euros practically screams bargain, even though 7,800 is still a lot of scratched pennies. So here I am, ripping the little one thinking, yup, cheap. But that mental anchor nearly blinded me to the real questions. Will this bike actually live up to my expectation? Do they have decent service departments? Or will I be welding this thing back together in my dad's garage? Anytime you see a price first, whether you're staring slack-jawed at a glossy magazine ad or swiping through Instagram, ask yourself, is that number a helpful reference? Or is it trying to hypnotize me? Notice how I'm holding my bike the right way up. Feels predictable, right? But guess what my brain's idea of predictable was formed by that 8,800 KTM sticker. An anchor so strong it practically held this bike underwater until I paid attention to reality. Next mental minefield, social proof. We humans are basically herd animals disguised as rational creatures. If you see someone else doing something, you're wired to think, must be okay, or cool, or at least not stupid. For me, that looked like every single forum thread or YouTube video featuring mid-sized machines, Yamaha T7, Honda CB500X, and Suzuki V-Strongs. Hell, even Uncle Bob down the street had one. Uncle Bob's a questionable influencer, but hey, numbers don't lie. He rides a CB500X. If you scroll through an adventure bike forum, someone's always proclaiming, if you really want to ride hard, get a Japanese bike. They're tank-proof, bulletproof. Why do you think? Well, I don't want to jinx myself, so maybe I should just follow their lead. But here's the critical question. Are you picking a bike that actually suits your riding style, or are you picking the bike that fits neatly into everyone else's riding style? In my case, I had to remind myself that I actually dig simpler ergonomics and lighter chassis. Traits the 450 offers, rather than lugging a 30-liter fuel tank, plus an extra 200 kilos around just to join some imaginary club. Okay, let's talk turkey. My actual decision path. Picture this part while you watch me hug this next stretch. Step 1. I was hopelessly anchored at 8,800 because of the KTM. Step 2. My brain was desperately seeking social proof. Instagram stories of buddies on big brand bikes, YouTube gurus swooning over reliable Japanese steel. Step 3. I walk into the local CFMoto dealership and they dangle this 450 MT in front of me. LCD dash, dual channel ABS, smartphone connectivity, 7,800 euros. That 7,800 number slapped me right in the face. Feels like stealing. But the real test wasn't the price, it was how this thing felt under my ass. As I throttle through, feel that my rational thoughts flicker. Hold up. That LED headlight is pathetic. What if I can't see a damn thing at night? In my gut, it's doing backflips over how light and nimble this feels. No fighting with math, just carving lines like butter. In my head, I'm doing the classic pros and cons list. Pros. 7,800 price tag, 40 horsepower. Plenty for my 175 kilo frame. Low maintenance, decent dealer network. Cons. Newish brand stigma, basic suspension tuning, a headlight that moonlights as a flashlight in a windstorm. But as I blast down this little straight, the grin spreading across my face tells the real story. I'm willing to trade a measly headlight for a bike that feels effortless in the twisties, and a price that doesn't require a small mortgage. You see, that's where the magic happens, when your emotional response finally squares with your rational list. Now, brace yourself for the final trick up our mental sleeves, cognitive dissonance. That's just a fancy way of saying your brain will twist itself into a pretzel to justify any big purchase you've already made. A week after laying down 7,800 euros, I took the 450 MT out for a nighttime spin. Cue the moment of truth. The LED headlight casts a beam about the width of a broken shoelace. For a split second I thought, maybe I royally screwed up. But my brain, bless its self-preservation instincts, immediately said, it's fine, perfectly fine. Besides, you get smartphone connectivity and an LCD dash. That right there is cognitive dissonance in action. Ignoring the glaring flaw because your ego can't handle the idea of a bad purchase. Look, I'm not shaming myself here. Every time you buy something, a pair of jeans, a blender, or a 7,800 euro motorcycle, your brain kicks in with a sales pitch. Focus on the positives, ignore the negatives. But if you catch yourself thinking, that minor flaw is no big deal, you might want to take a step back. Ask, am I ignoring something genuinely important just because I already spent the money? Because that same tendency can convince you to pay an extra 2,000 euros for a brand name simply because your brain obsesses over brand prestige. So there you have it. My brain's roller coaster ride to buying a CFMoto 450 MT. Served straight to you in beautiful POV footage. I didn't pick this bike because of the spec sheet or because some influencer told me to. I chose it because I recognized my anchoring bias. 8,600 euros, like a mental iron anchor. I saw how social proof had me leaning toward Japanese giants, and I confronted my own cognitive dissonance when I tried to justify a truly disappointing headlight. Next time you're shopping for a bike, heck, anything, watch out for those sneaky mental biases. Notice the first number that hits your eyes. Question whether you're genuinely craving what you want, or if you're just parroting what everyone else says you should want. And once you've bought, keep an eye on that part of your brain that tries to erase any hint of regret by focusing only on the good stuff. If you got a kick out of this psychological deep dive, drop a comment below. What bias did you catch yourself falling into? And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe for more two-wheeled insights that go beyond specs and horsepower. Until next time, ride safe, stay curious, and let your brain enjoy the ride as much as your bike.